2 o'clock.
Roll call.
Jerem. Melton. Pauls. Palermo. Festerson. Harding. Mr. President.
Here. Would everyone please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for remarks today by, hopefully, Councilman Chris Jerem. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Well, Chris is not here today, so what I'll just say today is I hope we have a good and a quick meeting and we get things accomplished the way they should in our meeting today. Thank you all.
An affidavit of publication is on file for the pre-council and city council meeting, and a current copy of the Open Meeting Act is posted in a white binder on the east wall of the legislative chambers.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this meeting of the Omaha City Council. The council thanks you all for being here today, and as a courtesy to those in attendance, we would ask you to mute or turn off all of your electronic devices. Before we begin the major portion of our agenda today, I want to turn the mic over to our council member Brinker Harding. He has a guest that he would like to introduce.
Thanks, Mr. President. As many of you probably heard today that we have some visiting dignitaries in the Omaha area. I'm not talking about Vice President Pence right now, but we have visiting from the city of Geneva, Nebraska, the mayor of Geneva, Nebraska, Eric Kamler. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for joining us today. Madam Clerk.
Items 6 to 8 relate to the same project and can be considered together for Stone Arch Creek, located at 13909 North 64th Plaza. Planning Board and Planning Department recommend approval. Item 6, a resolution to approve the preliminary plat for Stone Arch Creek with a request for waivers to Section 5384D lot frontage, Section 5393 street surfacing, and Section 5399 sidewalks. Planning Department recommends approval with a waiver of sidewalks, but denial of waivers to lot frontage and street surfacing. Item 7, a resolution to approve the final plat for Stone Arch Creek. Item 8, a resolution to approve a special use permit to allow development in the North Hills Environmental Overlay District at this location.
Public hearing agenda items numbers 6 through 8 are today. Proponents, please.
Hi, Sean Negus, 6100 North 16th Street. Just here to answer any questions if you have any.
Thank you. Are there any other proponents who wish to be heard? Seeing none, are there any opponents who wish to be heard? Seeing none, public hearing is closed. Before we take the vote, though, there's a question on item B under denial, and I guess I was going to ask Mr. Kratz what is the vote total that's needed if we support the planning board recommendation?
Okay, this is for a preliminary plat, which is not a zoning deal. If it's a zoning deal, you need 5 votes. A preliminary plat, you need 4 votes. But at some point on the final plat, which is number 7, state law requires 5 votes on that. So one of those two, you need to get 5 votes.
Today?
So you could do 4 votes on number 6, but you need 5 votes on number 7.
Okay. So we need to take them separately, 6, 7, and 8 separately?
Yes.
Okay. Need a motion on 6? Or discussion?
In accordance with the recommendations.
Well, because we have the current recommendations.
Is that what the motions? B?
No, yeah, on 6.
Which would include the denial?
So I'll go ahead and do the planning department recommendation.
Second.
I believe it's written for the planning board, so it would take an amendment.
Is that accurate, Mr. Kratz?
That's right. It's the planning department did the denial. Planning board approved it.
Okay, so planning board approved it. So sorry, my motion is to approve what the planning board approved.
That's my second.
That would be A. Okay.
Okay. It's been moved and seconded to approve 6A. No further lights. Roll call.
Jerem.
Yes.
Melton. Pauls. Palermo. Festerson.
Yes.
Harding. Mr. President.
Yes.
Item 6 is approved, 7-0.
Motion on number 7. Moved and seconded to approve item 7. There are no further lights. Roll call.
Jerem.
Yes.
Melton. Pauls. Palermo. Festerson.
Yes.
Harding. Mr. President.
Yes.
Item 7 is approved, 7-0.
And number 8 on the resolution, is there a motion? Second, roll call.
Jerem.
Yes.
Melton. Pauls. Palermo. Festerson.
Yes.
Harding. Mr. President.
Yes.
Item 8 is approved, 7-0. Item 9, a resolution to approve the Millwork Commons redevelopment project plan for the area generally bounded by Seward Street on the north, 11th Street on the east, Nicholas and Izzard Streets on the south, and Mid-Block Point between 13th and 14th Streets on the west for the redevelopment of several buildings.
Public hearing agenda item number 9 is today. Proponents, please.
Mr. President, members of council, Troy Anderson, Deputy Chief of Staff, Omaha Mayor's Office. And in the interest of time, I won't go through an elaborate presentation of this redevelopment plan, but I am here advocating on behalf of the city and the mayor's office for approval of the redevelopment plan. We also have representation on the developer side here today, and be more than happy to answer any questions you might have.
Thank you. Are there any other proponents who wish to be heard? Seeing none, are there any opponents who wish to be heard? Seeing none, public hearing is closed. Is there a motion? Moved and seconded to approve item 9. There are no lights. Roll call.
Jerem.
Yes.
Melton. Pauls. Palermo. Festerson.
Yes.
Harding. Mr. President.
Yes.
Item 9 is approved, 7-0.
Thanks, Roy.
Item 10, an application to consider a Class CK liquor license for Jam's American Grill Legacy located at 17070 Ray Plaza.
Public hearing agenda item number 10 is today. Proponents, please.
My name is Greg Cutchell, president of Old Market Ventures. I reside at 14307 Cumming Street. I'm just here to answer any questions.
Thank you. Are there any other proponents who wish to be heard? Seeing none, are there any opponents who wish to be heard? Seeing none, public hearing is closed.
Move to approve.
Second, roll call.
Jerem.
Yes.
Melton. Pauls. Palermo. Festerson.
Yes.
Harding. Mr. President.
Yes.
Item 10 is approved, 7-0.
I
And-
thought we were doing them both at the same time.
This,
Oh, 11 is the same thing.
11 had a request to remove the second level from the application.
On number 11, it had the second level removed from the application.
Right.
Okay. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second, roll call.
Jerem.
Yes.
Melton. Pauls. Palermo. Festerson.
Yes.
Harding. Mr. President.
Yes.
Motion passed, 7-0. Item 12, an application to consider a Class C liquor license for Holiday Inn Omaha Southwest located at 3650 South 72nd Street.
Public hearing agenda item number 12 is today. Proponents, please.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. President, members of the council. My name is Sean Kelly, 2804 South 87th Avenue. Here today on behalf of the applicant, and happy to answer any questions if you have.
Thank you. Are there any other proponents who wish to be heard? Seeing none, are there any opponents who wish to be heard? Seeing none, public hearing is closed.
Second.
Moved and seconded to approve item 12, no lights, roll call.
Jerem.
Yes.
Melton. Pauls. Palermo. Festerson.
Yes.
Harding. Mr. President.
Yes.
Item 12 is approved, 7-0. Item 13, an application to consider a Class I liquor license for Flavors located at 6052 Maple Street.
Public hearing agenda item number 13 is today. Proponents, please.
Good afternoon. My name is Talia Broadway, 4564 Meredith Avenue. On behalf of Flavors, I'm here to answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you. Are there any other proponents who wish to be heard? Seeing none, are there any opponents who wish to be heard? Seeing none, public hearing is closed. Mr. Festus.
Thanks, Mr. President. Talia, if you don't mind, just a couple questions for you. And just repeat your name for the record there.
Spell my name.
You can say it in your address again.
Talia Broadway, 4564 Meredith Avenue.
Great, thanks. So welcome to Benson. I'm familiar with this location. I think it was formerly being used as a music venue, right, but without a liquor license?
Yes.
Yeah. And it is a neat space that was formerly cleared out, I think, from what used to be an antique store, or certainly had a lot of stuff in there.
I'm not sure.
So I think it'll be a great location for what I think you're trying to do here. You want to just tell us a little bit more about your business plan?
Yeah, so we're just planning on having like a frozen margarita lounge where you can come and have a bite to eat and listen to music and just kind of interact with the guests or family members.
And it looks like music from time to time, but probably infrequent events, or how would you describe that?
Right, and so we're planning on, if someone wants to rent the facility out to have like a bridal shower or whatever, we have DJ equipment and different things like that. And so music will be playing on a daily basis, but if they wanted to use it for those occasions, music will also be playing then.
Good. And then I had a couple emails just from surrounding business owners, just wanted to make sure that we had things handled like parking and security. And I think there must be a dumpster in back that, I don't know if it's yours or if it's shared. Can you just talk about that a little bit?
Right, and so we haven't purchased a dumpster because we're not in the facility. We're cleaning up, but we don't have a lot of trash at this time, and so we haven't purchased a dumpster, but that is our plan to purchase our own dumpster. As far as parking, it's the Benson area, and so you're kind of on your own trying to find parking.
Mm-hmm. There must be a business there that has some designated parking, or does that sound right, maybe in back or something?
There is a lawyer's office directly behind ours, but we will make sure we tell our guests that that is not available to us.
Sounds good. And then in terms of security, what's the plan there?
We do have people who we are planning on utilizing for security.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it. Motion to approve.
Moved and seconded to approve item 13 and no lights. Roll call.
Jerem.
Further lights,
No.
Sorry.
Jerem.
Yes again.
Sorry, Melton. Pauls. Palermo. Festerson.
Yes.
Harding. Mr. President.
Yes.
Item 13 is approved, 7-0. Item 14, an application to consider a Class I liquor license for Fizzy's Fountain and Liquors located at 1408 South 13th Street. A's Communication and Support.
Public hearing on agenda item number 14 is today. Proponents, please.
Yes, Mr. President, members of the council, excuse me. Sean Kelly, 2804 South 87th Avenue. Here on behalf of the applicant, this is the latest addition to the Little Bohemia area. Hope to open up early summertime. With that, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Are there any other proponents who wish to be heard? Seeing none, are there any opponents who wish to be heard? Seeing none, public hearing is closed. Second. Moved and seconded to approve item 14. No lights. Roll call.
Jerem.
Yes.
Melton. Pauls. Palermo. Festerson.
Yes.
Harding. Mr. President.
Yes.
Item 14 is approved, 7-0. Item 15, an application to consider a Class D liquor license for Tobacco Road Discounts located at 1414 South Saddle Creek Road.
Public hearing on agenda item number 15 is today. Proponents, please.
Michael Polk, 2712 South 87th Avenue, here with Roger Arias to answer any questions.
Thank you. Are there any other proponents who wish to be heard? Seeing none, are there any opponents who wish to be heard? Seeing none, public hearing is closed.
To approve.
Second, roll call.
Jerem.
Yes.
Melton. Pauls. Palermo. Festerson.
Yes.
Harding. Mr. President.
Yes.
Item 15 is approved, 7-0. Item 16, an application to consider in addition to Scriptown Brewing Company's Class C liquor license located at 3922-3924 Farnham Street to add an area approximately 32 feet by 37 feet.
Public
Mr.
hearing on
President.
agenda item number 16 is today.
Sorry about that.
Proponents, please.
My name is John Farr. I'm the owner of Scriptown Brewing Company. I'm here to answer any questions you may have about the addition to our existing liquor license.
Thank you. Are there any other proponents who wish to be heard? Seeing none, are there any opponents who wish to be heard? Seeing none, public hearing is closed. Mr. Jerem.
Welcome, John. I'm glad to see that Scriptown's doing well, and it looks like you're going to be expanding the east into the old wood shop of Dan Gotze.
We are, and if I could just tell you a little bit about that. Dan Gotze's old space formerly was the Kaufman Bakery. A lot of you here might remember that. It's an iconic Blackstone business. And so we're happy, we're going to be promoting it as the Kaufman Room, just to add another historical element to what's happening in the Blackstone. And so we did uncover a large gold medal flower sign that was painted on the brick in that room. And so it's really cool. And it's going to be a nice space for rehearsal dinners, private events, those type of things. So it's allows us to expand our footprint from a business plan perspective and be able to sell more of the beer we brew on premise on site, which is obviously where our biggest profit margin is. So
And I like to refer to you as Omaha's most innovative fitness club, because on Thursdays, somehow he's convinced a running club to start and end at his brewery, so the runners come in after they've had their workout. And
they just celebrated their 3-year anniversary, and they have logged like over 22,000 miles on the Field Club Trail collectively since they started doing that. We give them a discounted restorative beverage. We don't give it to them, but we discount a restorative beverage for them when they get back. But great group of people.
Well, thanks and good luck to you. Motion to approve.
Second, Mr. Pauls.
Thank you. A little bit of history since you brought up Kaufman Bakery. Many, many years ago, I had their grandchildren attend one of my schools in the Millard area, and what we liked about them, they would bring good stuff every once in a while. So my memories of the old Kaufman Bakery are still alive.
There's a lot of interest out there in the history of it, for sure.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's been moved and seconded to approve item 16. There are no further lights. Roll call.
Jerem.
Yes.
Melton. Pauls. Palermo. Festerson.
Yes.
Harding. Mr. President.
Yes.
Item 16 is approved, 7-0.
Thank you.
Consent agenda. Any member of the city council may cause any item placed on the consent agenda to be removed. Items removed from the consent agenda shall be taken up by the city council immediately following the consent agenda in the order in which they were removed, unless otherwise provided by the city council rules of order.
The public hearing on agenda item number 17 was held on March 12th, 2019. Is there a motion? Moved and seconded to approve item 17. No lights. Roll call.
Jerem.
Yes.
Melton. Pauls.
Yes.
Palermo. Festerson.
Yes.
Harding. Mr. President.
Yes.
Item 17 is approved, 7-0.
The public hearing on agenda items numbers 18 through 38 are today. If you wish to address the city council regarding these items, please come to the microphone, indicate the agenda item number you wish to address, identify yourself by your name, address, who you represent, and if you are a proponent or an opponent.
That's 39, yeah.
Seeing none, public hearing is closed. Moved and seconded to approve items 18 through 38. No lights. Roll call.
Jerem.
Yes.
Melton. Pauls.
Yes.
Palermo. Festerson.
Yes.
Harding. Mr. President.
Yes.
18 through 38 are approved, 7-0. Item 39, an ordinance approving the 16th supplemental agreement with Douglas County and the Omaha Douglas Public Building Commission to provide for the issuance of up to $6,250,000 of new bonds to pay costs for acquiring the MUD site located between 17th Street, 18th Street, Harney Street, and Howard Street for future projects.
Item 39 was, we laid it over just for 1 week to get the information. I think we've all gotten that now. Is there a motion?
It's not this information that was just handed to us. We got the information we asked for
That we asked for.
previously. Anyway, I'll move to approve with that.
Second, no further lights. Roll call.
Jerem.
Yes.
Melton. Melton.
Yes.
Pauls.
Yes.
Palermo. Nope, he stepped out. Festerson.
Yes.
Harding. Mr. President.
Yes.
39 is approved, 6-0.
The record is closed, right?
Yes.
He just threw it out. No. I believe there was a request from council members to postpone items 40 to 42 to the April 2nd, 2019 city council meeting.
So moved.
Second. Moved and seconded to lay over till April 2nd, items 40, 41, and 42. No lights. Roll call.
Jerem.
Yes.
Melton. Pauls.
Yes.
Palermo. Festerson.
Yes.
Harding. Mr. President.
Yes.
Motion passed, 6-0. Item 43, an ordinance approving an amendment to a grant award contract with the Nebraska Department of Natural Resources for the Combined Sewer Overflow Program to authorize the increase of grant funds received in the amount of $1,030,952.
Public hearing on agenda item number 43 is today. Proponents, please. Seeing none, are there any opponents? Seeing none, public hearing is closed. Next item.
Item 44, an ordinance to accept the bid from Choppers Lawn Service in the amount of $40,000 for grounds maintenance at the Papillion Creek wastewater treatment plant for a period of 1 year.
Public hearing on agenda item number 44 is today. Proponents, please. Seeing none, are there any opponents? Seeing none, public hearing is closed. Next item.
Item 45, an ordinance declaring the necessity of acquiring for use by the City of Omaha private property for the purpose of constructing Coal Creek 204 Phase 3 project.
Public hearing on agenda item number 45 is today. Proponents, please. Seeing none, are there any opponents? Seeing none, public hearing is closed. Next item.
Item 46, an ordinance to approve an investment advisory services and fee agreement with Advanced Capital Group, Inc. to provide services related to the City of Omaha's 457 plan for such period as is mutually beneficial to both parties.
Public hearing on agenda item number 46 is today. Proponents, please. Seeing none, are there any opponents? Seeing none, public hearing is closed.
Non-action items. Items 47 through 67 do not require public hearing or city council consideration at this meeting, but will be placed on a future agenda for public hearing and/or vote. The reason for non-action is noted after the item on the agenda, as well as the date the item is expected to appear on the agenda for consideration.
Is there a motion to adjourn? Second, roll call.
Jerem. Melton. Pauls. Palermo. Festerson. Harding. Harding. Mr. President.
Yes.
Motion passed 7-0. Meeting is adjourned at 2:22.
Okay. Wasn't a record, but it was close.
I feel like